Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again. And this time we're going to look at game number 6 in our 20 from the Atari 2600 or VCS series. And this is a port of a very popular arcade sequel to Pac-Man. This game, of course, features Pac-Man's significant other, Ms. Pac-Man. And this is Ms. Pac-Man. This was released for the Atari 2600 early in 1983, even though the title screen says, or the main screen says 1982. But this was created by Atari, Mike Horowitz, and Josh Littlefield. It's a very, very, very good port. There's some differences that you'll definitely notice during gameplay, but it has all the same floating fruits. It has the double exits. It has really the same exact gameplay as Ms. Pac-Man. One major thing that I've noticed is that Blinky is really friggin' fast in this game. I think this game is harder than the arcade, and all the ghosts follow you. They all give chase, even the orange one, Sue in this one, and Clyde in the original Pac-Man. But I love this. The ghosts rotate around you during the attract mode. It's very, very cool, very nice touches. I kind of wish that they had intermissions from Ms. Pac-Man, the arcade original. They don't have that, but it's still an excellent port. I did not really notice this, or I did not play this back in the day. I do remember seeing the commercial come out, and it had Ms. Pac-Man dancing and singing, and she says, "Hey, don't you know, I'm more than Pac-Man with a bow." I really remember that commercial. But yeah, this is a great port. But yeah, the ghosts, one thing you'll notice is the ghosts don't turn around. They do not backtrack unless, you eat a power pill. So you can basically follow a ghost to safety if there's not a bunch of other ghosts right on your tail. We'll go ahead and get started. And note that these aren't dots, they're little dashes, kind of like in Pac-Man, but that's not really a quibble. I prefer the sound effects in this over the Atari 2600 Pac-Man, and the Atari 2600 Pac-Man was widely criticized by a lot of people. I didn't hate it nearly as much as most everyone else did. I thought it was playable. Definitely looked different. And the sound effects were not good. But it's widely recognized by its sound effects for the Atari 2600. But yeah, the ghosts really are intent on following you. They don't try to ambush like they did in Ms. Pac-Man, the arcade version. They don't strategize on how to head you off the pass or team up to get you as much as just try to follow you and catch you, as they do in this one. And like I said, Blinky, the red ghost, is super freaking fast. And all the ghosts will try to follow you. It used to be that the orange ghost would just have their own movement pattern, and it wasn't to follow you, and you could follow them to safety. They would not try to team up and get you or anything, and that's not the case in this one. they will all try to follow you. And they will eventually know where you are and try to catch you. But despite those differences, I still think this is a fantastic port. I really enjoy this. You only get one extra life, just like in the arcade original. You only get one extra life at 10,000 points. There are 4 game variations. The first one is regular, this one. The second one has you go against just one ghost, and that's the orange one. Then game variation number 3 has you going up against 2 ghosts. I think it was like Pinky and Inky, or no, Pinky and Sue, the orange ghost. And then there's a Peach worth 500. Then the 4th variation has you go against 3 ghosts, and Blinky is not among them. So those other variations are for younger players or inexperienced players. There's a little bit of flicker that I don't think is as apparent in playing on the actual Atari 2600. This is on an emulator, Stella. Now, if you're waiting by an energizer or a power pill or whatever, like right there, do not underestimate Blinky's speed. You might think that okay, I can get this power pill and I'll be able to catch him. Oftentimes he'll meet you first. Do not underestimate his speed. He is crazy fast. But the food items that will float around the maze, like in Ms. Pac-Man, and eventually find an exit and leave, are cherries, which are 100, strawberry, which is 200, a peach, which is 500, a pretzel, which is 700, an apple, which is 1,000, a pear, which is 2,000, and a banana, which is 5,000. Once those prizes get very lucrative, you definitely want to go out of your way to catch them. Don't completely endanger your life to catch a fruit, but try to find a way to get to it. I mean, once they start getting to be 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000, and then it goes to lower fruits after you catch the banana at 5,000. Ooh. Fortunately, that was not Blinky that I was about to run into. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have been able to finish the maze. But yeah, oh man, I just avoided him catching me. Oftentimes it seems that when you're going towards a power pill and Blinky is on your tail, he will not give up the chase. He is going to go right after you. Yeah, it's a very, very, very good port. And like I said, something that's very important to remember is that the ghosts will not backtrack unless, of course, you eat a power pill. Ah, yikes. And also note that on some of the mazes that there will be exits right by a couple of the power pills at the bottom. And that while you're waiting to eat the power pill and start chasing the ghosts, there might be one sneaking through the exit right by you. So watch out for that. Yeah, I did not have a joystick. You want to have a good controller for this game. I did not have a joystick. I used a little analog stick, which is not ideal, but I did all right. I was hoping to get at least 70,000. I didn't quite get there, but yeah, this seems a little bit harder than the arcade, at least a little bit. I kind of wish that they had a turbo option. Ooh, yikes. I wish that they had a turbo option for Ms. Pac-Man, the Atari 2600 version, because I used to love the turbo option in the arcade, and almost every Ms. Pac-Man arcade machine would have that turbo option, or, well, not even an option. You were automatically fast. And I could get real good at the turbo version. You know, it is cheating. I mean, it's something you can't really control. It's got that setting on it, but at the same time, you can move a little too fast for your own good, and it's a bit of a challenge to keep from running into the ghosts. But yeah, I got really good at the turbo version. You hardly see a Ms. Pac-Man. Well, you hardly see a Ms. Pac-Man standalone machine. Many of them have been converted into like a Galaga Ms. Pac-Man combination machine, but you barely ever see a non-turbo Ms. Pac-Man machine, if you come across a Ms. Pac-Man machine at all. But I remember getting like 235,000 or something on the turbo, and I thought that was a pretty good score. I think I was on my feet for like 30 to 40 minutes playing that machine. I was starting to get tired. I can't last as long as a number of marathoners on arcade machines. I just get really tired or bored. Yeah, note that by now the effect of the power pill or energizer is a lot shorter. But yeah, you can follow a ghost to safety if you're not completely surrounded by a bunch of other ghosts, because they do not backtrack unless you eat a power pill. I remember I used to like the cartoon Pac-Man by Hanna-Barbera. And it ran from like 82 to 84. It was pretty stupid, but it had a very, very catchy theme. And in 1984, they released Pac-Land in the arcades, and they used that same theme from the cartoon, and the graphics were very similar, or at least the US version was. Although the Japanese original, I believe, used the cartoon theme as well, so maybe the Japanese programmers were fans of the cartoon. I don't know for sure. Yikes. The guy that voiced Pac-Man in the American cartoon was the husband of Shirley Jones, the mom on the Partridge Family. And even though they loved each other a lot, he was kind of an asshole, it seemed, or at least a lot of people thought he was. Kind of seemed like he was. But yeah, I did not I did not play this when it was coming out. I still had my Atari 2600 Pac-Man game. And like I said, I didn't think it was as bad as everybody thought it was. It definitely looked radically different from the arcade and had pretty crappy sound effects, but I enjoyed it for what it was. We won't have, damn it, we won't have that on this list of top 20 games, but I will mention it in the honorable mentions list. I will do an honorable mentions list before I get to number 1. Yeah, this is a great port. If you are looking for if you are a noob to the Atari 2600 and want to look for some good games in the system, definitely give this one a look. I had a feeling I might get screwed there. But I'm digging this look back at second generation console games, and I'm thinking I'll do another one once this series is over. I'm thinking about maybe, hell, why not the Intellivision, which was released to compete with the Atari 2600 and actually didn't do too bad. Definitely had a better sound effect or a music palette, or a better sound effect audio capabilities. I think the Atari 2600 had better colors, or a more wider color palette. But I enjoyed the Intellivision. I didn't own one. Damn it. I almost got 70,000. Well, that was Ms. Pac-Man for the Atari 2600, generally released in 1983 by Atari Mike Horowitz and Josh Littlefield. And now let's look at the different game variations. Like I said, there's 4, and we already played the first one. Here is the second one, and this only has you facing the orange ghost, Sue. And the orange ghost is the slowest. But any ghost will follow you with the express purpose of catching you. They don't really ambush. They don't have an AI that allows them to cooperate to get you, like in the original arcade Ms. Pac-Man. And then the second game variation will have you facing 2 ghosts. There's no function for the difficulty switches. You know, A and B. It doesn't do anything. And here we will face 2 ghosts. We will face Inky and Sue, the blue ghost and the orange ghost. And then this is game variation number 3, or the fourth one. The first one is regular gameplay, and this has you face 3 ghosts: Inky, Pinky, and Sue. And Blinky is not here, thank goodness, because he's so freaking fast. Frying, if you use the on-off switch and wiggle it in between, doesn't do a lot helpful, or doesn't do much that's helpful. It makes weird effects. What the hell? Yeah. It can make the screen look funky. Ooh, like this. What? Okay, that's that's just weird. But yeah, there's nothing really helpful in this game that I've noticed that comes of frying. And they've said in like the manuals, do not fry or whatever. Be careful how you turn the power on or off. It can damage the cartridge. But it's interesting to see what can come of it in an emulator. Well, that was Ms. Pac-Man, game number 6 in our 20 from the Atari 2600 or VCS series, created basically in 1983 by Atari and Mike Horowitz and Josh Littlefield. Well, I thank you for watching. I will catch you later in the future with my next video. Take it easy, folks. Bye-bye.